United 0, West Ham 2. Where do we go from here? What went wrong again today?
Oh man.
Obviously, first of all, the lineup. We don't have Pogba in the. Yeah, he's actually injured. Marshall is not there. The Mata and Matic, oh my God, they're like slow as like a sloth. I don't think so. They are really fit for starting in this lineup. So we actually did wrong. First of all, the lineup was not good, and then overall, Rashford, how could he miss actually the one-to-one chances? And if you miss this kind of
But
chances,
he's been struggling all season.
he's been struggling also, yeah. But yeah, one time he has to step up his game and score something. Otherwise, when he's gonna get a penalty and score from the free kick, and that's not gonna happen. You won't get set pieces every game. You gotta score from those chances. So yeah, I would say it's a totally disaster, lackluster performance entire game. I don't know who basically played well this season, to be honest. This game.
What's your take?
Obviously, we go with the squad selection first. Squad selection was poor today from Ole, very poor. So, in the future, we need to make better decisions as far as going against these teams away from home, and when our players aren't in form, we don't need to be starting. Obviously, we don't have a choice at this time because we have injuries, but after the injuries, we need to really look at our squad and figure out what the best 11 is because Ole doesn't know anymore.
I think he's a bit confused.
He doesn't know anymore.
All right, darling.
So when I watch this game, I don't see any passion. I don't see any direction in midfield, and our defense is always capitulating. I don't understand.
It was a bad time to concede the first goal with 4 minutes at the end of the first half. United were kind of just hanging on to get the game into the second half.
Yeah.
But that goal was poor to concede. What do you think of that first goal we conceded?
It was obviously a defensive lapse because, especially if you see between Lindelof and Maguire, nobody actually challenged
exactly.
that guy.
I thought
so
so
he
too.
actually got a free shot towards the goal, and
Nobody
nothing
marked
De Gea
Yamamoto.
could do in that moment. So we are basically just considered the game against the run-up play because we were actually playing really good.
At
Maybe
that
we would have
point.
scored a goal. And
Exactly.
when you get a goal just right before the halftime,
It
definitely
changes your
bring your
whole
confidence
momentum
down. So
changes,
that's what
everything
happened actually.
changes.
We tried to get back in the first 10 minutes of
That
the
Mata
second half.
miss.
Second half, the Mata miss, and then again, we are not actually doing good at the offensive lineup. We are not capitalizing our chances. So that's kind of obviously it's going to happen. Westham is not going to give them a lot of chances in the home game.
no,
They're
of
a
course
good team, man.
course not.
They always give you run for their money. So anyway, that's what happened. So I'm not very surprised with the scoreline because the way we perform, as he said, there is no direction. Our
Very
midfield
poor.
is shitty.
Very poor
We don't
today.
actually have a good creative play in the midfield. How
No,
are we going to
no, with no creativity, no.
Yeah. So-
Where do we go from now? Where do we go? We've lost 2 games already in 6 games. We can't score, but we're still conceding little, these little goals that could be avoided. Just
Exactly,
defensive
exactly.
slackness.
At this point, Ole needs to play the youth, man. We don't have any other options. We don't have any midfielders, and you know why. We don't have anything else to lose at this point.
Exactly.
So you just say just play the youth.
Yeah,
play him.
the thing is right now, it's very difficult for us to top 4 finish in this season.
At
Okay,
this
so
rate.
what
Top
we're going
4
to
is
do,
done.
we're going to start building a team which will give us some kind of a dividends in next season. Okay, that is something we're going to eye for.
Right.
So that's why I agree with him that we're going to give more chances to the young players like Gomez, Fred, and Greenwood and other players. And unfortunately, Greenwood couldn't travel. Otherwise, I would have started with
I would have
Greenwood
started Greenwood.
instead of Rashford. Okay, so yeah, obviously we have to give more chances to the academy players, to the young players, and try to build a team for next season. Because this season, I don't think so we will win any trophy. I'll be very surprised if we have a top 4
We've got
finish.
League Cup, FA Cup, no.
I don't think so in that at this moment, unless until we've actually got back to our winning streak again and have a 10 games winning streak again. But it's not very feasible right now at this moment.
I mean, we have to pray for a miracle and hopefully Martial and
Play
Pogba
for-
join
Yeah,
us shortly.
yeah,
Luke Shaw
exactly.
as well, because at this point,
We're
all the
40
rest of the teams are watching this. Every other team in the Premier League has seen this performance today. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to wait. They're going to sit back.
Exactly.
And then they're going to counter. And then when they score, they're going to park the bus.
That's it.
One thing I want to say here, I think you guys noticed that Pat Evra, he basically made a comment yesterday that people actually stop fearing us.
Oh, yeah,
We have
the
to-
fear factor went long time
come
ago.
on, man.
That's gone.
Think
That's
about
gone.
City. They actually just demolished 8-0 yesterday.
Yeah.
That is kind of fear we have to implant in opponent's
Yes,
head. We are not
exactly,
doing it. So
exactly.
obviously, we're going to get hammered by these teams whenever we play against them on the
Exactly.
road. So that's what is happening right
And
now.
another thing, you don't start Mata. I'm going to repeat this. You don't start Mata. You can only get about 45 minutes out of him. I don't understand. You have Lingard on the bench. You have Gomez on the bench. You have Fred on the bench.
Exactly.
All 3 are faster than Mata. Why is he starting?
Okay. Can we use the injuries as a reason why we're struggling at the moment?
Well, that is
Injuries are
obviously
one
on the
thing.
card, especially
Injuries are
we didn't
one
do a good job in the
We've got a
transfer
small
window.
squad.
And I don't know why Edward, I mean, people are actually panning Cameron Edward, but he did a shitty job in the transfer window. On top of that, the only two player who basically made some difference in the offensive lineup, Pogba and Marshall, they're injured. So obviously they actually cost us the game.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is, you know.
I mean, at this point, Woodward's
Injuries-
going to sit
can-
there.
can
He's
we
going to
say
sit
injuries
there and
was a
say-
reason?
Injuries is not the reason altogether, because I feel like we've had a chance in this game. You know, before Rashford got injured, we had chances.
And we didn't take them.
And we didn't take them well.
Yeah.
And then in the last third of the game, Dan James making runs. Where's the service?
No service.
You pass the ball, you play it behind him. He's fast, but he's not a miracle worker.
It is a very poor performance. So overall today, from what you saw, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the team performance
team
today?
gets a
Team
3.
performance, it will be like 2 out of 10.
You get a
12,
3 from
Yeah.
me.
3 out of 10 for you?
That's about it.
Ole's
I give it 3 only because of Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was the only one actually showing heart
Exactly.
out there
He's
today.
actually
the only
showing hard
one
work.
actually trying to do something.
Correct. Most of the crosses are coming from one.
And
Bissaka
where's
from
the
line
where's
to
the
line.
where's Dalot? Where's Diego Dalot?
Yeah.
Somebody tell me.
Exactly. He
plays in
he
Europa
played in Europa.
and then disappears. Fred did well against Astana and he doesn't get the start today. Why, Ole?
There you go.
Give me some answers.
Ole's decisions, Ole's selections, Ole's substitution. What would you give him on a scale of 1 to 10 today?
It's a
Well,
zero,
I don't know.
man.
I
It's a
actually didn't
zero.
listen to
Get
the
outta
press
here.
conference before the game, but he said he's going to actually give more chances to the. He's actually choosing over experience than performance, but that is not going to happen sometimes because honestly, our team, especially Mata and Matic, I know they're inexperienced. They played, for last couple of seasons for this team, but they're doing good. They're not doing good because we need to give chances to players like Fred, who basically proved their.
Exactly. I don't know why he doesn't start Fred, but starts Matic. I don't
yeah.
get. Do you get that?
Ole doesn't rate Fred, and we know this. Fred was a player that was bought by Jose Mourinho, and Fred doesn't want anything to do with him. But that's not Fred's fault. Clearly, we're at a point now where we don't have any midfield. We don't have any depth.
And we already
so
spent a
why
lot
are
of
you
money
playing
on
our
Fred?
slowest players against West Ham? We need to make an impact. We need to make it earlier on. I would put in the fastest players I have.
So, on a
Period.
scale of 1 to 10, what you give Ole today?
This is 0 for me, man.
0. You give Ole 0. What you give Ole?
Well, I'll just give him 1 out of 10,
1 out of 10.
especially considering
You
that
guys
at
are
least-
cold. You
at
guys
least
are
he
cold.
formed that
You guys are
defensive
cold.
lineup,
We're
We're
cold,
yeah.
but you start
Yeah.
Matic and Mata against West Ham away
Yeah.
from home.
That's-
But
bro,
we're cold.
I have
Yeah,
not. I
no.
cannot. I can't disagree with you.
Exactly.
Guys, United have lost by 2 goals to 0 away. We lost 3-1 last season, so it means there's no improvement this season from last season to this season. We lost 2-0 again at West Ham. So our next game is home to Arsenal. What's your prediction for that game?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, at this moment, trying to be realistic, I just want to draw against Arsenal. It will be
That bad,
miracle. It will be miracle if we win a game against Arsenal. But considering that we beat Chelsea 4-0, maybe we don't know because we are so inconsistent and
Exactly.
unpredictable.
Well,
maybe
I
we'll
gotta
pull off a
stop you
win
there.
against
I
Arsenal.
gotta stop you there. Chelsea, we had Pogba and we had Martial. I don't see it doing.
That ends that
I don't-
discussion
I don't-
there, right?
Okay, so
I don't see us scoring at all.
Yeah.
I see it being 3-0. To be honest with you.
That means if we lose at home to Arsenal, Ole's job is now under more pressure.
exactly,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Of
He'll
course.
be on the line,
Guys,
for sure.
We see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Soccer We Like It, the Man United Dash. We were the Houston Red Army. We just finished watching another disastrous display from United, losing away to
Terrible.
West Ham.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Hopefully, we can see you guys with some victory next week. Glory, glory, Man
Hopefully,
United.
we'll have some spine.